Tonight, I would like for us to look at one thing that we might think about when Christ returns. Oftentimes our minds might go in many directions when we think about Christ's return. You might think about the end of time, or the material things of this earth ending, the end of sin. You might think about the end of suffering and death. We might think about the end of false prophets teaching error. We could teach of many things. We could think of many things, but the one thing that I want to talk about tonight is the end of the opportunity of redemption. Some people seem to think of an illusion that something can happen to us after death, maybe a second chance, an opportunity for pardon. There is none. Christ once told a parable of 10 virgins who were to be attendants at a wedding. Let's look at that in Matthew chapter 25, verses 1 through 13. Matthew 25, 1 through 13. This is often called the parable of the wise and foolish virgins. Then the kingdom of heaven shall be likened to 10 virgins who took their lamps and went out to meet the bridegroom. Now 5 of them were wise and 5 were foolish. Those who were foolish took their lamps and took no oil with them. But the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps. But while the bridegroom was delayed, they all slumbered and slept. And at midnight a cry was heard, "Behold, the bridegroom is coming. Go out to meet him." Then all those virgins arose and trimmed their lamps. And the foolish said to the wise, "Give us some of your oil, for our lamps are going out." But the wise answered, saying, "No, lest there should not be enough for us and you. But go rather to those who sell and buy for yourselves." And while they went to buy, the bridegroom came, and those who were ready went in with him to the wedding, and the door was shut. Afterward, the other virgins came also, saying, "Lord, Lord, open to us." But he answered and said, "Assuredly I say to you, I do not know you. Watch therefore, for you know not neither the day nor the hour which the Son of Man is coming." So in this parable, or the story, 5 were wise and 5 were foolish. The difference between these two groups is that the wise made adequate personal preparation, while the foolish did not. And as the bridegroom tarried, all the virgins slept. And that's looked as kind of as a symbol of death, that sleeping. When the announcement came that the bridegroom was on his way, all the virgins rose and trimmed their lamps. However, the foolish, they had not made that adequate preparation. And so, they attempted to borrow, and they weren't prepared. And those who were denied them. They refused. So where is a lesson within this idea about redemption? Preparation must be made personally, and it must be made now. It's not transferable to another person. Each of us have to accept that as our responsibility, and now. There's no such, idea. A lot of theologians think there's some kind of proxy salvation or some kind of post-mortem redemption. That's looked at and believed by some religions Some of the Catholic faith, they strongly believe in this idea. There are others who imagine that, there's a proxy of baptism for the dead. Some Mormons strongly believe that, that they can do that on the behalf of others. Clearly, though, the scriptures say otherwise. The Apostle Paul was very explicit in his plea. In 2 Corinthians 6, verse 2, for he says, in an acceptable time I have heard you, and in that day of salvation I have helped you. Behold, now is the accepted time. Behold, now is the day of salvation. Another verse that really brings home the fact that when Christ does return, there will be no other opportunity for redemption, is in Hebrews chapter 9, verse 7. As it is appointed for man to die once, but after this, the judgment. So tonight, I just thought it would be good for us to look at and try to understand that when Christ does come, our opportunity for redemption will end. And so there are many, many in the world who don't believe that, but the scriptures state that. The opportunity for you tonight to make your life right, if you're not right with the Lord, will be provided with an invitation song. If you have any need, we ask that you come as Spencer comes and leads us an invitation song.